There's a report out that during the coaches conference yesterday that there was some discussion about the lack of transparency with how the two opponents were added. Could you say anything about that, and also just your thoughts about heading into actual practicing next week?
No, I really can't address what was in our private meeting yesterday. But I can tell you that we're excited about practice starting. And I think the kids are excited. You know, we've been here a long time. There's a lot that goes into coaching, but they name you coach so you can get players out there and try to make them better and things of that nature. And so you can feel the excitement of our team, our staff, everybody in our building. And we're really excited to go see a little bit more about our players.
Nikki?
Coach, how are you feeling about special teams and, how has Coach Fountain been doing, and do you have kind of an anticipated kicker and punter in mind to start practice?
Well, punting, kicking job will be determined just like every other job on our field, but we certainly are pleased with getting A.J. Reed here, along with Carrington, and we're pleased with what they've done since they've been here. But that job will be determined just like every other job on the depth chart. What was your first question, Nikki?
Just how you feel like the special teams walkthroughs have gone and Coach Fountain.
I love Coach Fountain and what he's doing with our players. I tell you, we had a meeting about we have 5 of our assistants along with Coach Fountain, specifically on each unit of special teams, and they have taken that. If we'll coach special teams as hard as we do our position, we've got speed. We'll have a good special team. We've got kickers. We've got punters, long snappers, and we have speed. So we've made a big emphasis. I believe Scott Fountain's had more meetings, been part of more of our meeting time than any place I've ever been around. And of course, we've had extra meeting time, so that says a little bit about that as well. But I really like the direction we're going mentally in special teams, and I think Scott Fountain's really a special teams coordinator.
Thank you.
Right, Mitty.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hey, Trey.
I got an offensive line question for you. I was wondering, I know you've got a lot to sort out up front, but I was wondering when they take the field, I assume Monday, y'all are going to start on Monday, but when you take the field, do you have an idea of the first 5 that's going to be out there, and any update on Luke Jones also?
Well, yes, I have an idea, and I love you. You know that I'm not going to share that idea with you. But I'll be honest with you, we've been 2-spotting our walkthroughs and things of that nature, and the best thing about that is we've had different kids play different positions, and it's allowed us to kind of have an idea of who the 5 are, and then who's maybe 8, and then are we 2 deep across the board and things of that nature. But I've been really pleased with that group. I think we have some players there. We're certainly a lot bigger than we've been in the past, and Luke Jones has done an excellent job. I was surprised of a little bit about how easy being a possible center was. It was kind of a natural for him. Obviously, when you travel, you want to be able to travel at least 3 centers, and I think he'd do a nice job if we put him in there at center. He's not playing center right now, but he certainly is capable.
Thanks, Coach.
Nate?
Sam, I was curious, would you all use the indoor facility just since it's safer to practice outside with COVID?
Well, actually, yeah. Did you say it's safer to practice?
Well, they say it's safer in the open air. I was wondering if you'd use the indoor facility.
It is, and if we go in the indoor, we open every possible avenue we can to get air in there. But there are going to be times when we want to go indoors simply because of heat and or in the AM. But if we have a day off after a practice day, we'll go out in the heat. If we go 2 in a row, that would be when we considered coming inside.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Otis.
Trey kind of got my questions, Coach, but Luke Jones, what did you see in him? I mean, what did he do, to get the scholarship? And just what are you seeing? What's he doing well? Obviously, you talked about the center spot, but what else is he doing well, and just how's he been doing?
Well, he has excellent feet. He's quick. He's very talented. When I got here, I don't know what he weighed, but he's gained quality weight, and he looks like an SEC O-lineman, and he moves like one. So very smart, very intelligent, and obviously with him being able to play center, it brings a lot more value to the table from him. But just a really good kid, and works hard, and just been really proud of him.
Thanks, Coach.
Hutch.
Yeah, Coach, I was wondering if you could maybe give us your reaction to finding out that Georgia and Florida were your 2 additional opponents. And is there any advantage for having you coming from Georgia, several staff members from Georgia, and then also Felipe Franks from Florida?
Man, that was loaded. The reaction to Georgia, Florida is it allows us to potentially be the hottest team in the country to talk about. And so they gave us more opportunities out there against really highly ranked teams, and that's how we look at it. The other thing, Georgia, would there be an advantage? I don't know. I mean, bottom line is Georgia has some really good players, and they're well coached, and we know some of their schemes and all that, but it's not going to be a lot more than, they have a new coordinator on offense. On defense, Dan Lanning, who in my opinion is one of the best D coordinators in the country, he'll have something new, just like he does against every team that he plays. But we know basically what they're running and things of that nature, but you're going to see that on film. If we played them early, that might give us a little bit more advantage because we'd know a little bit more about them. But and then Felipe going back to Florida, I think that's a question you'd have to ask him. But we're excited to play Georgia and Florida just like we are the rest of the SEC schedule.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Mike Irwin.
Okay, let's see here. Coach, you guys have been doing various kinds of workouts for a while now, but what changes on Monday? How will that work out? And then from then on, how will that be different from what you've done before?
Well, the speed, instead of a walk, we'll be able to go full speed. Obviously, the NFL teams do it all the time. We just have to certainly teach them how to practice against each other with no pads on. But we're going to have a full 2-hour practice, from the time flex starts till it's over. And our guys are going to be able to cover. They're going to be able to throw and catch. They're going to be able to do some things that at least, some of those things they could do on their own, but now we're able to coach them. They're able to see what we can do. It's going to be an exciting day on Monday because it's the first time we've ever seen our kids go full speed. And it's exciting to even think about, but it'll just be an amped up version of some of the things that we've been doing, to be honest with you.
Bob.
Hey, Sam. How you doing, man?
Hey, Bob.
Hey, obviously some of the Big Ten coaches weren't real happy about their conference's decision. A lot of coaches aren't getting to coach this season. How happy are you or thankful that the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12 are all, at least trying to have a season?
I think that we're in the greatest conference in America, and I don't mean just football staffs and players and all that. It's everybody. Our medical team has been unbelievable. I think we have a wonderful plan with COVID, trying to keep our kids safe. I think more importantly, I think our kids believe that. And so for us to, there's always been, like everybody else, it's ups and downs of whether you're going to play, whether you're not. Now I think we're going to. 5 days ago, man, I don't know. So it's still real fluid, about that. But as of right now, we all believe that we're going to play, and we're extremely happy about it, and extremely happy with our commissioner, Mr. Sankey.
Kyle Deckelbaum.
Yeah, Sam, just piggybacking off that, I wonder what the decisions from the Big Ten and Pac-12 did as far as your optimism for a season.
Well, it didn't help me. Once you saw the Big Ten and the Pac-12 decide not to do it, then you're going, well, are we going to follow suit? But we were made well aware a long time ago that we felt like we were as ahead or equal with anybody in knowledge of COVID and in our testing plans. And so I always felt like there was going to be an opportunity to play, and I felt like we would hang on as long as possibly any conference. And to this point, that's what we've done.
All right. If you've got more questions, hit me up in the chat. We're going to try to do or get around to the second round as best we can. Tom?
Yeah. Hey, Sam, I was wondering what questions you had, like as you go into this, what are the questions you want to see answered as you go through the quote camp?
Well, I want to see how good we are at quarterback, every position, but the quarterback drives your football team. I want to see how we can run to the football. I want to see how tough of a program we are. I want to see how disciplined we are. We're going to put them through a tough practices, and I want to see how we react. And I feel like I know how we're going to react, that we're going to dig down and come roaring back the next play. But we have to test our football team in practice to see what we have. We can't wait till Saturday to find out. And we believe in this football team. We believe in our players, and they've given us no reason not to be honest with you. But I want to put us in some adverse situations so we can figure it out before we go out there on Saturday.
Dudley?
Thanks, man.
Hey, Coach. When you first got here and had a chance to get your staff in and look things over, obviously, it was via film or just, looking at them in person. When you looked at the football program, what did you say, we've got to get better at, whether it be a position, an attribute or whatever? And how do you feel like you've gone about that in that first recruiting year with the high school kids and transfers, and maybe what you're pointing toward, with this recruiting class?
Well, I'm really pleased with the freshmen that came in. I really am. Obviously DeQuaylen didn't come in and Cottrell, but the rest of the guys that are here, they've worked extremely hard, and they got really good high character, and so I was really pleased with what we have. Now, I was just talking today about the 3D linemen that we had that are freshmen. And we would take them again and again and again. We really like those kids. And, of course, you got Kelly and obviously Coach. That's obvious. When you look at you sign 5 guys in a position, you're thinking, you need some help there. Now, that's an educated guess because you didn't coach anybody on the team. But we felt that way there. We felt that way about quarterback. Obviously felt pretty good about the wideouts, and that's why we signed so few there. And on our team, we're probably over at linebacker. Barry can use him in different fronts that he gets in, but he can use a few more. But we have to go strong this year at wideout since we didn't get last year and things of that nature. So the guys we got, we addressed the D-line, we addressed the quarterback situation. And so we feel pretty good about the guys that we got. And obviously we went out and tried to get a little more competition in the kicking game with the kickers, the punter and the kicker for that matter.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Tyler Cass.
There you go. Hey, Coach. We got Arkansas high school football kicking off 2 weeks from today. I mean, you were here before, and then obviously recruiting, but just what have you seen from the state of Arkansas in high school football in the time since you've been back?
Loyalty. The state high school coaches are very loyal to the University of Arkansas, and we need that, to be honest. But you have to earn that, you know. And I called every coach in the state of Arkansas. I did not talk to every single one of them. I'd be lying, because there's some I didn't get a hold of. Some switched jobs that I, didn't find out who the coach was and things of that nature. But the majority of high school coaches I was able to talk to. And the one thing about it is they're good ball coaches. They're good men. They care about these kids. And therefore, our state football is going to just continue to get better and better. I believe that, because I think it's in great hands with high school coaches here.
Nikki?
Coach, what kind of vibe would you like at your practices? We won't get to be there on Monday, so like, what you have music there? Like, what kind of energy would you like to see from your team?
Well, we'll have music and stretch, after that, not so much. But, we talked to our team about going to work. I mean, we have to be energetic as coaches. I mean, if somebody does something well, we need to be the loudest at practice at that point. If they do something wrong or make a mistake, we need to teach that. That's what needs to happen. We need to be teachers in times when they need taught, and then when they do something well, we need to bring the energy. I have a staff that believes in that same thing, and so we are a blue-collared football team, in my opinion, and we have to go back to the grassroots of blocking, tackling, hitting, technique, and playing physical and pursuing the football. And that's what we're going to try to get out of every practice. And we're going to try to practice better than anybody else in the country every single day. Now, when we're off the field, we're going to enjoy each other and this, that, and other. When we're on the field, it's a work day.
All right, we got time for three more. Trey Biddy.
Coach, I was curious about, you said you're going to go 3 days this first week. Is that going to be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday? What time do you like to start practice? And also the 5-day acclimatization period. Do you think you need that after having gone through the walkthroughs?
It's just so different. Could we amp that up? Maybe a little bit, but our walks are supposed to be walks. So probably, Trey, we're going to go 3 and then come back with 4 until we get to 12 of those to get to 50. So it'll be 4 for 4 weeks and then end up with 5 the last 2 weeks. We were going to go 3-3 and then go a 5 and a 4, but we've changed our mind there. It's the first week of school. Mm-hmm. And we felt earlier that we weren't going to be able to practice more than 3 times that week, but we've since changed that. So this week's going to be pretty hard on them coming up, because it's going to feel like camp to them a little bit more than what obviously when school starts.
And what time are you starting?
2:45.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Sam. I guess it was Monday. Hunter was on, I think, the Feinbaum show, and he said he felt good about the bubble Arkansas could create because the players could take classes online. And then obviously you guys have really high-level safety protocols. How good do you feel about the bubble you guys can create to keep your everybody safe?
I feel good about the bubble when they're here, and then when they go home, I feel good about it as well, simply because they've been so good for a long time. But when things change, which it's changing. I mean, students are on campus now. And then that's whenever, we had a long talk about it this afternoon about, things are changing, you can't. And that's hard for young guys. I mean, they want to make friends and different things. And so they're just going to have to be very, very disciplined. I expect them to be disciplined, because they're grown men and because that's what we ask them to do. And so far they've done everything we've asked them to do.
Thanks, Sam.
Mike, you got the last one.
You know, Coach, a lot of fans think that where this is going to go wrong is when you start having face-to-face contact. They say there's no way you can stop a COVID spread. I know there was some talk earlier about you didn't think the mask, the plastic face thing would work, but have you been able to come up with anything that would simulate a mask or maybe help in that regard?
Yeah, we have, and actually we were able to use it for about a week in our walkthroughs, maybe a week and a half, and it works well. You know, the answer to the first question about face-to-face is, I mean, we're going to test them 2 and probably 3 times a week, and then we're going to test them on Fridays before the game, and the chances of whoever they're playing against having COVID is not going to be high because they just were tested as well. So we're not taking any type of chances at all if we think someone has COVID out there. But you're right, there is going to be face-to-face, but there is a mask now that they can still breathe, but it goes over their mouth. And our kids seem to really have taken to it, and they like it. Actually, they like it better than wearing the mask. You know, you can either wear your helmet, keep it on all the time, or wear a mask, or have your helmet, you take it off, put your gaiter on. But our kids seem to really like that mask, and it hasn't been, now we're not going full speed, but I haven't heard any complaints of I can't, you know, I'm having a hard time of breathing and things of that in it. So I really like what we've done in that aspect.